Rafa Benitez surprises everybody with several changes and a wing-back system. A goal from Daryl Murphy wasn't enough as Newcastle draw with Birmingham in the FA Cup. There's a serious injury to Alexander Mitrovic. And finally, there's a fixture congestion because of the replay. That was an awful game. Absolutely awful game. Hello everybody, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV on the review of Birmingham City 1, Newcastle United 1 in the FA Cup. The game has finished roughly about a couple hours ago now, so just doing a quick review on the game. So how we do reviews, obviously seen in the intro, we've got quite a bit to talk about. Let's get up the lineups first of all. So we'll look at Birmingham's first of all then. So they went with a four at the back with Spector at the right, Shotton and Paul Robinson, the old Paul Robinson coming in centre back, and Grounds at left back. Of course, it was Ledge Catins in goal, if I pronounced that right. Keefton Beld and Gleeson and Davis were the three sitting in midfield, and then they had two attacking wingers coming inbound, which was Fabrini and Adams, and Jukitovic, the man who predicted as will be a real handful in the preview. Looking at Newcastle, and so this was the big talk: which side would Newcastle put out? So Rafa went with a wing-back system, believe it or not, a 3-5-2, which was Sells in goal, and then it was right wing-back, it was Yedlin. On the other side, it was Lazar, and then in the three centre-backs roles, it was Lascelles, Hani, and Haidara. Bit of a strange one, that one, isn't it? Haidara playing the left centre-back. Tiote coming out the cold as well, that was another surprise, alongside Colback in the middle. And then we had two up top, which again was another surprise in Murphy and Mitrovic. So Rafa literally couldn't predict Rafa's team, never mind the formation. He threw a few spanners in the woodwork, and I was really excited to see it. Seeing all these players like you haven't seen, likes of Lazar, even Tiote. I know I don't really rate Tiote that much, but just seeing freshened up, a plan B, so to speak, and even seeing the two up top. That's what I was so looking forward to see if Rafa would play two up top. I thought it would be Gale, but he went with the two big guns, two giants, as we say, up top. We'll talk about the game in a moment. Just want to touch on the attendance. Absolutely shocking from Birmingham. 13,171 and 4,671 were Newcastle fans. So Birmingham had just over 7,500 at a home game. Really poor support. I know Birmingham fans, you're watching, but surely, however, you've got to admit that's pretty poor. Mike Ashley was in attendance as well. He normally tends to go to he picks his away games. He doesn't tend to go to St James's as much because he likes to try and stay away from from Newcastle fans. So let's begin with the game. So we scored pretty much 6 minutes in, didn't we? Lazar's corner, and it was a bit of a chaos at Birmingham. It was a bit of ping pong, and Murphy stabbed home from the corner, and we went 1-0 up, and it was fantastic. I've got a little bit of footage from fan footage, so here it is.
Yes.
So that was a bit of footage. Don't get me wrong, great getting 1-0 up. I thought, yeah, we're going to kick on, but for about 5 minutes, Mitrovic went down under a challenge. Well, it wasn't a challenge, it was the way he fell. And then he just landed awkwardly, and we'll come on to Mitrovic what the injury is towards the end of the video because we've got an update on that. And then he put on the oxygen mask, and then he was substituted off, and it looked really worrying. You think, oh, is this a leg break? That's all I kept thinking. Is this a leg break? Gouffran come on, like for like. Rafa didn't change the formation. He kept with the wing backs. Gouffran slotted in up front. I was maybe just resting Gale completely. I thought Gale would come on, but never mind. And then it was. The game kind of died off literally from there until the end of the match, didn't it? Obviously, Gouffran should have scored when he went around the goalkeeper, and it was there to tap it in, but the defender was there and the way. Birmingham didn't really have too much to say. Sells had a pretty tame shot to save, and then they got the goal where Jukitovic, which I've mentioned in all the previews, 2 or 3 previews, he's the man that Newcastle need to watch, and he scored. So I have put it out there, poor Newcastle defending. You wait to see, if you haven't seen the goals, you will see the goals. Really poor, really awful, absolutely awful defender from Newcastle. When the goal came, what was Lazar doing on the right hand side? I'm not picking on Lazar because of the goal. He actually had quite a good game. Looking at now then, going into the second half of the game, Birmingham probably shaded the second half. I have to say they had a few shots, team shots cells early on. Newcastle didn't really offer much second half, did they? The game was really, really poor. You had the chance when Mitrovic come on, it was a bit of a when Richie come on, there was a change of formation because we already had a couple of substitutions before then. We had obviously Gouffran for the injury and Hayden like for Chiote because Chiote had run out of steam. And then Richie come on, Rafa changed the formation, he put Richie to the left and went 4-4-2 more or less. Well, not 4-4-2, it was more 4-2-3-1 because Gouffran was playing in the 10 instead. Didn't really do anything, to be fair. It was pretty awful. Jukicevic had an absolute sitter. How the hell did he miss a cross come in out wide and Jukicevic, all he had to do was put it on target and he heads wide. It was an awful miss and I'm thinking, hell, we are so lucky to get away from them. Then he had another chance in the 87th minute to win it and it just went wide of the post. Newcastle was so lucky there. The game ended 1-1. I'll obviously get reaction, of course, over the weekend and on Sunday and Monday. Key things, Mitrovic, we'll talk about Mitrovic now. So the injury to Alexander Mitrovic now, obviously we're all fearing what was going on. And obviously after the press conference, Rafa had said that he had a deep wound, which isn't too bad. Thank God it's not a leg breaker. So he's went off to hospital and then we'll find out probably 24, 48 hours what the situation is with Mitrovic. Obviously I'll get that on the channel as well to see what the injury update is, if it's serious. But we're still in the cup. Mitrovic hasn't got a leg break, thank God. We're still in the cup. Now, that's going to cause a few fixture problems, and it's right. The Brentford game, which was live on Sky Sport, is not live now on TV. It was scheduled for next Monday. It's going to be brought forward to Saturday instead, which won't be shown on TV because of the FA Cup replay will need to play on Wednesday at home. Hopefully I can get that game if work allows me, should do. But that would also mean that after the Rotherham game, the Brighton game, which is the fourth round of the FA Cup, they progress, which means that the Brighton game will have to be rescheduled as well. So it's a lot of confusion, but I'm pretty upset about that because I'm away in Tenerife and I was going to do a video on that. If Newcastle progress in the FA Cup, of course, I'll do a video on that. If they've got a home game, I'll be kicking myself, absolutely kicking myself that I won't be able to go. The positives, players-wise, I think Lazar looked alright. Lazar's probably the best one out of those ones that played today. I know Murphy got his goal and doing the world of good, but Lazar looked pretty impressive. And the wing-back system probably gave him a 7 out of 10, and the rest were just, including Birmingham, to be fair, nobody really had a good game. It was a shocking game to watch. It's not going to make the highlight reel, put it like that. But we're still in the cup, We'll move on. We'll get some reaction. Thank you very much for watching Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you later.